Good morning. I'm coming at you again. My name is Queen Zoya Counts. I would like to take this time to thank you for listening to my video. This video, I will be coming to you this morning talking to you about initiation. I feel this is something that I need to say, and I feel that everyone who is practicing this, who is trusting in your teachers to guide you, who is wanting to do this on your own, I think this is something that you should know coming from me. Years ago, when I first started, I met this brother on Yahoo Messenger. He turned me on to this guy down in Miami. He became my padrino. The first time I went, I was nervous as hell. He told me I had a gift. He told me I had to receive my eleques, my warriors, and I had to make the saint. He told me all of that. And so I did all of that. I went, I was scared as hell, didn't know nobody, went by myself with nothing, but the ancestors and the spirits guiding me, caught my plane. That was the first time I went. He took me to a babalao in Miami, sat on the floor. The babalao told me all these things that was going to happen to me and what I needed to do, and that this man was to be my padrino. So I received my warriors. First of all, I had to come back and get my eleques. I was scared shitless. So I went through the eleques, which cost me over $200. So I spent over $200. I'm not going to give you the exact price, but I spent over $200 to get my eleques. Next, he told me that I had to receive my warriors. I spent over $200. Not going to tell you how much it cost, but it was up there to receive my warriors, which was a legba, my pot, Ochosi, Ogun, everything. Had to drive back down there. Okay. Not only was I paying to receive those items, I had to pay him to do the work. So that cost, now I'm looking at over $1,000. Next thing you know, I go down there, he gets a reading, and he says, oh, you got to be initiated into Palo Mayambi. That cost me over $1,000. I spent my money, went down there, got initiated in Apollo. He gave me some beads. That's what I got. I did not receive the name of the spirits of my pot or anything. I had to get somebody to investigate it from me, from someone who lived in New York, to get all this information from me. I was told that I had to be in be in Miami for my padrinos, everything, sending him money, hooking him up with people, sending him money, doing all of these things. And I'm not saying there are bad padrinos out there or madrinas or whatever you want, whatever. It's not. A lot of teachers are good and they're sincere. But I'm telling you my experience from my initiations. So I paid all of this money. Then I went to the Akan up in New York, and this lady gave me a reading and said, oh, you got two spirit houses fighting over you. One will win, giving me readings. I'm sitting up there during the Akan festivals. I'm getting possessed by spirits. Don't know what's going on, but yet and still they steady telling me, no, this cannot be happening to you. There's no way that you can possibly be getting possessed by these spirits. He only comes to his children. Then they wanted to initiate me for 3 years. I had to go through this initiation process. They sent me all of these things, but they said it was two houses fighting over me. So the Nana who gave me my reading, she told me, I was scared shitless. She took me down to a basement. There was a vessel behind a wall, and she spoke to it. But I could hear everything what was being said. And she told me that I would have to wait for the spirit house, the spirits to decide what. And I said, well, who is going to teach me? Because I want to do the work. And she said that the spirits are going to teach you. I said, okay, all right. So my padrino in Miami, he showed me a few things, but he didn't teach me. Next, I got initiated up here. I laid down with the spirit. I got initiated in voodoo. Okay, because voodoo was really calling me. I met a man. I came up here. He showed me all of his spirit houses, told me everything that I needed to know. And I trusted him because a lot of things that he was saying was true, because I was feeling a lot of negativity from dealing with the person that I was dealing with in Florida. So a lot of the things that he was telling me was true. My padrino was Cuban, and his wife wanted to take me over. She was Puerto Rican. So I went through a whole lot. To get where I am today. I received my initiation with this particular person, laid down with the spirits, got my cuts, did everything, got my cuts to everything, to the bedroom, laid down, did everything. I asked him, are you going to teach me? He told me that the spirits were going to teach me. Once again, from two separate different religious beliefs, or whatever you want to call it, they told me the spirits was going to teach me. So I enjoyed the initiation portion of it because it allowed me to get rid of and cleanse, the clothes cutting off me, all the stuff that I went through. It was like when you get baptized, when you go to church, you get baptized and you have to put on all this white and confess and do all of that shit. This initiation, the initiation for me helped me. The money part of it and everything that I spent, at one point I was regretting it. But now I don't regret it because it allowed me to see just how far some people would go to take your money. But it also opened up, and this is very important that you listen to what I'm saying to you. It opened me up to discipline to the point that I had to connect with Shango, Oya, Centella, and Doki, Siete Rayos, the Baron, Simbi, Urzuli Dantor, Papa Legba. Mwah. I had to connect with Ogun Ochosi. I had to connect with all these different deities, all of these different energies. And in order for me to get discipline from my initiation, it pushed me. So this is why initiation is important. You don't have to pay all of this money, but you have to stay connected with your spiritual guides that are here to protect you, that are here to work with you. You can't do it one day and then you don't do it the next week. You can't do it once a month. You can't do it twice a month. For 5 years, listen to me, for 5 years, I faithfully lit candles. I faithfully gave my ancestors food. I faithfully blew cigar smoke and liquor on all of my stuff. I faithfully gave Alegba eggs and candy and toys and talked to him and rum and everything. Even my warriors, I faithfully did all of that for 5 years. For 5 years. And this started back in 2000. Okay, this is back in 2000. And I faithfully did all of these things for 5 years every day without failing. Every day. When I had my own townhome with 2 bathrooms, I had candles burning in the other bathtub with water so they wouldn't go out. Faithfully. I even did like the Bible. I fasted. I fasted and prayed because I wanted them to come and teach me. Even though I went through all of those things that I went through within those 5 years, I called upon the Akan spirits. I called upon everything that I was taught. And faithfully, I lit candles. Faithfully, I did libations. Faithfully, I did offerings. Blood sacrifices. I done sacrificed roosters on my stuff. I did all of these things. Nobody taught me. But one thing that these 2 people were right about, the spirits were going to teach me. And anytime I needed to do something, or anytime that I asked the spirits for help, they came to me. They came to me in my dreams. I've got so many books on how to do spells, my library is huge on what I need. Not what people told me I needed to get, but what I need. I read what I needed to read, got what I needed to got. One time I tried to do a spell out of the book, it didn't work. I prayed and I asked the Spirit, why didn't this work for me? They said, you know what they told me? They said, because that was for that person. Every spell that you read in the book is not going to be for you. You have communicated with us for 5 years, every day faithfully, asking us to teach you. So now it's time for you to listen to that inner voice. And whatever we give you to do, do it. And it will work. And then write it down so you can have a memory of it. When it's time for you to do work for somebody else, you will know what we told you. And that is what I did. Faithfully. I got a book. I'm doing work for somebody now, but I have my book, my grimoire, as they want to call it. I don't know what these people call it these days. But I took what I needed out of the books, and then I added my own. And all of this started from me having to have initiation. And there are a lot of people who feel they don't have initiation. There are a lot of people out here initiating people wrong. There are a lot of people out here giving beads and stuff to people, and their life ain't straight. Their shit ain't right. So how can you help somebody else when you don't have your stuff going the way that it's supposed to go? Because what happens is when you are out here trying to initiate somebody, or you're receiving initiation from someone whose shit ain't right, that shit will fall right on you, because that energy will go right into you and you will find yourself fucked up and confused. Now, I went through some confusion, but the one thing that stayed in my mind during the process of these initiations that I went through was that the spirits were going to teach me. And they would come to me in my dreams. A little old lady would come and talk to me and tell me stuff. And I would wake up and write it down. And then I would wait. Like someone asked me to do something for them. I said, okay, I want to read. Let me read you first. Don't tell me anything about you. Let me read it. And let me talk to my spirits and see what my spirits have to say. Because I'm not going to tell you something coming from my heart. Because remember, what may work for one person may not work for another person. Initiation may work for one person, but it may not work for other people. But that does not mean that initiation is wrong. Even if you have to self-initiate, it takes time. It takes endurance, because you have to shed off your old way of thinking. You have to get your emotions out of what you're doing. And you have to prepare people. You can connect them with the spirits, but just because you connect them with the spirits does not necessarily mean that the spirits are going to work with them the way that they work with you. So initiation is important. You don't have to kick out all the dough that I kicked out, but you have to self-initiate. I was watching this video on YouTube about this woman who was saying that she did initiation. And she was like, every day for 3 years, she lit a candle and she talked to the flame until she started feeling the presence. And when you do this, and I'm not bragging, I'm not boasting, because I made a lot of mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes with people. You know, if you're listening to this video and you're one of them, please forgive me. But I made a lot of mistakes with people because I was still trying to find my own way. And the only thing that I wanted to do was just help people, help people, help people, help people. That was all that was on my mind. I got taken advantage of. I got used. I got put down through there. But I came up. And I have such a strong connection with my spirits right now that a lot of tools and going before my statues and blowing incense and putting stuff on. I mean, let me show you something. Let me show you something right. If you look at all the stuff that I have, yeah, I put candy liquor. If you look at all the things that I have, all the stuff that I have in my room, yeah, him too. All the things that I have, and I'm about to do work for somebody, that's why you see all of that out. at all the stuff that I have in this room, all of this stuff that's in this room right now is just stuff. But the moment that I blow cigar smoke, the moment that I blow my liquor, the moment that I spray it with Florida water, the moment that I start saging and lighting my incense and shaking my rattle and calling my spirits down, each one of these are for the spirits that are in my life. And all of this stuff is their contacts. And the reason why I got all of this stuff is so they can feel comfortable when they come along or come down or up, depending on what you believe in, to talk to me. And I have learned with that when I went through my initiations and when I received everything, that I could be miles away from all of this. And they are with me like the Verizon network. Remember them old commercials? That's how my spiritual court look right now. Spirits of the dead. Everything. Everything. Because of the fact that for 5 years, my initiation was for 5 years. And that was when all I did was communicate with my spirits, pray to my spirits, talk to my spirits faithfully for 5 years. Just to learn. And they taught me. There was some things that I did and I wanted confirmation when the spirit told me, and I reached out to my papa and I said, hey, this is what a spirit told me, out of respect. And he said, who told you how to do that? I said, the spirits told me in a dream. He said, that's exactly what I would have done. But I would add this to it, or I will add that to it. But the spirits didn't tell me to add what he said he would add to it. They told me what I needed to do, and I did it, and everything worked out for that person. So when people say, oh, I don't need no initiation, I don't need to be connected to this, I don't need to be connected to that. Initiation is death of the ego. It kills the ego. It brings you down a notch. And when you start finding yourself going through a whole lot of shit because you want to skip the part where you need to really bond with your spirits, and especially your ancestors first, and then they will allow everything else to come to you. You need to bond. You need to cleanse. You need to prepare yourself, because this right here, this is the temple. This is where they're coming to. I have gotten possessed by the Orishas, the spirits. I have gotten possessed, and they come and they talk to me. I can pick up a candle and light it and do a reading without cards. I can read fire and I can read smoke. I can read coconut shells and I can read cowrie shells. I can read the bones, as they want to say it. I can even hold your hand and read you. And I'm not bragging or boasting, but all of this came from my 5 years of doing everything every day. And then when I finished, after I finished, spirits came to me and said, okay, now put us in order, a day of the week. Choose a day of the week that you will do your readings. Choose a day of the week that you will do your work for people. Choose a day of the week. Excuse me, coughing, but I don't have coronavirus. Throat's dry from doing all this talking. But they told me to choose a day of the week and get my spiritual business prioritized. And that's what I do. I like working at night because I love the night. But I've got all of this stuff around because I've got work to do. I've collected herbs. As you can see, I collect stuff. I put it up because I need it, because you never know. I took classes on how to understand the herbs and what their priorities are. I took classes on understanding the oils and how to work with the oils, what their properties are, how to grow my own herbs, which I am now growing. And all of this came from me doing self-initiation, but dedicating myself to it. Because you got to dedicate yourself. It's not you do it 1 week and then the moment somebody pisses you off, like I said before, you want to cast a spell on somebody and then you don't know how to do anything else. And then you get mad if the spirits don't work for you. And then you get frustrated, well, this shit don't work and all this other kind of stuff. But what are you doing to build your bond? When you do start your initiation, you start with your ancestors first. When I received my initiations with Palo and Santeria and Khan and all this other crap, no one told me to start with my ancestors first. It said honor the spirits. But when the spirits came to talk to me, they told me to start with them first. And as I began to start honoring my ancestors, and I'm not talking about those way across the water in Africa, I'm talking about those that died on this land, those who I'm aware of, like great-great-great-grandma and great-great-great-granddaddy and uncles and aunts, those ancestors on this land here, the United States of America. When I started honoring them and getting pictures of them and honoring them, as I began to honor them, they started opening up. Okay, you need to connect. Then I started learning more about how Oya works in my life, how Shango works in my life, how the Baron and Mama Brigitte work in my life, how Ozuli Dantor, Kalfu, Simbi Makaya, Basu, how they work in my life, how the job works in my life, how the spirits of the dead that are not my ancestors, how those spirits can work in my life. Most important, how Papa Legba works in my life by opening up my doors and allowing that communication to stay open. And once that happened, things begin to get better. So I know this is going past 15 minutes. It's like 20 minutes. But I felt like this needed to be said because there is so much information out here. And you can read the books because, like I said, I've got so many spell books, so many different books, so many things that gave me the knowledge of how, because I wanted to research where did it come from. And then I did my DNA test, which I'm glad I did it, but in a way I'm not, because now they got my DNA. But even with my DNA, I was able to understand that my people were the Congo people, they were the Zulu people, and my people were the Yoruba people. And that made more sense to me why I was told that the spirits were going to teach me. And that's why those humans could not do it. So my name is Queen Zoaya Counts. I hope that you have enjoyed my IGTV or Facebook, Instagram, whatever, YouTube. I hope that you have enjoyed my video for today. If you want to talk to me about anything else, you can email me at queenzoaya@gmail.com, queengmail.com. You can check out my YouTube page. You can check me out at queenzoaya.com. All that stuff. I'm on Facebook as Raw Lioness, so hit me up. Let me know if you have any questions. One thing, I do initiations for people, but I have, I will give you the beads. My initiations is only an introduction to the spirits so that you can be introduced to them properly, and then the rest of the initiation is up to you. The rest of the struggle is up to you. And the reason why I mean struggle is because you can receive your lekes, you can receive everything you want, your beads, whatever you want to call them. But if you're not willing to go through the struggle and deny yourself certain things, if you're not willing to accept everything about you and balance out your life, that's what I mean by struggle. Because some people don't accept anything negative about themselves. Because negative and positive, it has to work together. Okay? And, I work with my left hand as well as my right. And if those of you know what I mean, y'all know exactly what I'm saying. So check me out. And I really do appreciate you all taking the time to listen to this 24-minute video. Peace and blessings.